The earliest depiction of God, another of the earliest depictions of God, was a woman with her breasts out, standing like this, with her breasts hanging down, and under those breasts, a son. S-U-N, S-O-N, it's up to you. But the earliest depiction of God was a woman. And there's a reason why it's a woman. It is a woman who flows, who gives flow, who is flow. Also explained as Garden of Eden. So Migi Chang said, I'm going to get Eddie Hannah, come here.
Eddie.
Obache o Ada. You are kept. Tonali. Binayaki, you see. Kabi here. What the Mavi Pasan to you, other sister. Before Tawa, we are society goes back to Suiti.
Us now, you know, Blojo, I now la very senior man. You figure now, Senator, you could be. Say halfway.
And then, being technically now, they start the Bible, actually, it's story about Syrians. And then those Syrians were applicants and among the Vikings. And then I found that the story of Moses can actually be about Egypt. And then had this Spain. And then now, so explain that here is the story of the Caribbean. They see what the ego. But if I can't about the Genesis, it is said that there was a great spirit floating across the base of the deep. In the Iberians, at that Genesis, the spirit roaming upon the base of the deep. And then the first days of creation, the world was without the was void, the darkness, and then there was boiling darkness. And then was our cities. At Amazon, there was also capacity of. And then when I question started do what is a great spirit floating across the face of the deep. And then Amazon was also falling out. This means they connected it, there was that big spirit floating upon the face of the earth, when the best was without falling, but it was with darkness. And then, yeah, it was like a love, is a what Adam. The story of Adam and Eve, it actually be explained in three ways because of the talent matter. When Adam picked the apple, it is said that that apple is presented as the Johnny Polly. But then in the school of law, you need certain principles to prepare the age. So it is said that Adam water a papula and Abba is waga. And then that eating of the apple it is the act that the least the chase that of the catch. And then it is said that we human beings, when we are about this priority because of Adam, they are up in this act. They don't have their own life and then and then they smart.
Oh, let's step in a guy. Let's talk about the apple. There was the apple in the Garden of Eden. And there is a school of thought that says
that for you to acquire knowledge in this sense.
So the apple is connected to knowledge. Let's look at biology, right? You do a cross-section of the human brain, right? Cross-section, cut it straight here, of the human brain. The human brain is shaped like an apple, right? The structure itself is shaped like an apple. The core of the apple is shaped like the core of the brain, don't need the brain. With the brain stem, the medulla connects through to the spine. Now that central part of the brain if you cut it in half, cross section, it looks like an apple you cut in half. So the apple was always used as a symbol of knowledge. Right? So now in the Garden of Eden story, when Eve ate the so-called apple, she received knowledge of self, which then cut her off from knowledge of everything outside. And this is where it was dangerous for the Christian doctrine to redeem as a truth. So they said that the tree of knowledge was a bad thing to eat. Can't. When you stop listening to the noise outside you, you start hearing the voice inside you. This is why after they ate the apple, they ran away by those fish, because they started hearing a voice inside them, calling them. How? Adam, yazibisha le ndoda. Ayazi ukuthi izibishe because uyaweza umuntu othi 10 gram kamama. Noma usibishe phansi kwesofa uyayiva la voice. Noma usibishe ebhasini esikolweni uyayiva la voice. Noma usibishe pin uyayiva la voice. Now, the story of the Garden of Eden is the story of man's psychology. We'll get into that. Correct. I wanted to clarify the apple for men. The apple is a symbol of knowledge. It's always been like that in this distance.
Sounds good. And then I said that mentioned the 81 the apple in the Garden of Eden versus the apple that fell on when it was here. Forever changes across all keys. And there is also in about other meetings how it can be also explained in another term, or for Abba because I question which is Abba.
The same chat is paper.
And there's the story of Abba and Abba. Abba being a positive principle of being, also being a spirit and light. And then there's Abba, the negative aspect of being. That is
yin yang.
That is Ima, the wife of Abba, who is the negative principle of King, and then the mad. And that's also the story of Adam displayed in another story. And then it is said that give the spirit and the power and the light and the positive aspect of being came together and terminate with Eva, the matter and the negative aspect of being. So now we are learning about the connection of the sun, because the sun is also the spirit and the power and the positive coming together to ignite. So the story of the Garden of Eden is also about the creational stories of the humanity, about how the light and spirit came together of fit matters, and then that's how the story is the story of the creational story of humanity in the Garden of Eden.
So when you begin with the Bible, what for the key?
Sure. No, I don't music to them.
You don't. But you understand what you're saying is wrong by me.
Yeah, the one sentence.
Sure. The Bible is not a religious book. I repeat, the Bible was not, will never be a religious book. It's a book of science, philosophy, and magic. This way, as big as a bird. The Bible is not a book, a religious book. Yes, Mama. Which is your man?
What about the sign? It's the ecstasy. Us.
Listen.
Follow me to the Macabo. Follow me here.
You speak.
Speak.
Oof.
Speak. I speak. So what about the poisonous ecstasy?
Okay. A Cinderella story. Snow White and descended to us. Okay. I have done a fairy tale about. In the story of Snow White, okay.
Keep like. Because there. In.
All the people attempt.
Okay. Then I'll try to explain this. I don't know about the personal substance in the apples, but at the ACLC. But I do know that the ACL that represents the total body, and then what? Okay, that's accessory knowledge. And then now we are asking ourselves why there was there the snake in the garden of Eden. I think that's where the poison that's like that. I don't know. I think you didn't there. There was also a snake, but why was there the snake in the modest creation of God? And then now we're not sure why wasn't the snake not suspect? And then also what will be divide about the father and so. So, I'm trying to explain that the eating of the Eve turning Adam into a apple, and then the poison. I don't know.
In the Garden of Eden, there is the apple and the snake. In the Cinderella, the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, there is the poison apple. In the Maleficent, Maleficent, yeah, Maleficent, uzame ukubulala uprincess ibani ne-apple naye angithi mirror on the wall. Who's mirror on the wall? Who's the fairest of them all? That's Snow White, right? But yeah, you are fair, but there's none more fair. There's someone who's more beautiful than you. Who's no way that she was found by 7 dwarfs. He spoke about esoteric knowledge. With permission, when Zokuluma just Kuluma behind closed doors, just for a minute. Snow White is you the day you were born. You were born innocent, pure, snow white. Don't believe people that tell you were born in sin and we were conceiving in equity. My parents were not creating a sin when they were making love, creating me. I will never believe that. I've got 3 children. I don't remember feeling guilty about creating them. I love my children, I'm raising all of them. Right? Now, you were born innocent, pure, without falling. You are Snow White. Now, who is Maleficent? Who is this evil witch? It's this world we live in. This material reality that forces us to focus outside instead of inside. That is why she is so obsessed with the reflection in the mirror. She does not want to know herself. She wants to know how she is perceived in the world. And a lot of us go through life like that. Right? Comparing ourselves to the next person. Comparing the next person to the next person. Comparing my car to her car. Comparing my house to her house. Comparing my shoes to her shoes. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? And your mirror will always tell you the truth. Because you are looking outside of you, there will always be something that is better than what you have outside. You may have the most expensive iPhone today. And I will have it. Now you've lost your place in the food chain. So outside, there will always be something else that is better. So don't even try and compete with the external world. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of the people? To always tell you the truth. Until you get so angry that now, with the knowledge, the apple that you yourself have, remember, you are the witch, you are Snow White, you are the second cause in this story. This story is about you. Only about you. It's not about many characters. It's one person. Now, because of the knowledge that you have acquired in this world, you poison yourself with depression. You poison yourself with anxiety. You poison yourself with false hopes. You poison yourself with Christianity. You poison yourself with so many belief systems that stop you from realizing who you truly are. That is the poison of knowledge. Knowledge comes with a poison. To know is to harm. To not know is to be safe. Ever heard that saying? If I know the right thing to do and I do not do it, I'm worse than the person who did not know. The poison of knowledge is you not doing what is right. So, the apple seed in the Snow White story, she poisoned herself with guilt, with depression, with jealousy, with this and that and this and that, until she died. Who rescued her? 7 short people. I mean, Odogolosha 7. These 7 Noloshis are your 7 chakras. Your root chakra, your sexual chakra, your solar plexus, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye, your first eye. Once these are aligned and activated, the old you dies and Snow White is reborn. And who wakes her up? Prince Charming. And how does he wake her up? With a kiss. The union of positive and negative. Unity is the state of God. So, Kasa.
Yes, just a question around the 7 chakras that you mentioned. There have been studies that say also that may be a representation of the 7 deadly sins. Because deadly sins.
Exactly.
Given the, so what's the relation to the 7 deadly sins?
In the 7 chakras. Alright. If your root chakra is not properly balanced and opened and activated, you will live the sin of fear. What is the sin of fear? Everything around you will be in doubt. You will never be settled wherever you are. Anxiety, depression, fear of security, fear of losing this, fear of losing that, fear of this and fear of that. And you will always be making decisions based on fear. And decisions based on fear are spontaneous, senseless, and non-intelligent. Because you always regret them later. Always. Think about the decisions you made out of desperation. Are you happy about them today? Any of you? No. You can't be happy about a decision you made under desperate circumstances. You understand? So that's the sin of the root chakra. The sin of the sexual chakra, Ukjord. The feminization. Sleeping around and impregnating children and not being responsible and having boyfriends and security companies and minister of finance and sex is the biggest sin of the sexual chakra. We fuck around too much. Literally. No pun intended. Well, the pun was intended. That's the sin of the sexual chakra. The sin of the solar plexus chakra is laziness. But where to say we are lazy. And the government is not doing this for us. Why do we I mean, there's 100 men in the community. You did not finish them. You must find our summers. You're all blood clot lazy. Now, feel out. You can't prove you the opposite of the computer. We have become lazy. Go to Uzanabu and about when each other is waiting. If we are becoming a of general, the best one comes from Ulwes. That's what he knows. He knows that the best courage comes from Ulwes. He's never held a hole in his life. Okay, he's had a lot of holes, but he's never held a hole in his life. So Arayazi the effort that he does not know the benefits of work. Those are the sins of the solar plexus, laziness. The sin of the heart chakra is to love, conditional. I love you because, I love you because, I love you because. If you love conditionally, you have not yet loved, you are teaching your heart to be evil. You are going to be a parasite, a bloodsucker, into a mafune. Because you think that love is acquiring, and then you're going to fall into the wrong relationships. Because me and Tom, they're always opening my wallet for you, you think I love you. Because your love is a take. Because when I told you keep on telling me I'm going to think you love me. Yes, because you're giving me so much attention. You are going to misinterpret the whole idea of love. That's the sin of the heart chakra. The sin of the throat chakra is lying. Not to someone else, to yourself first. Because you convinced yourself, you convinced yourself when there was nobody else there. And you told yourself this lie, you believed it, and you came to us and thought that you could convince us with it. This year, Mama Lazita was better very much. But you know, but I put my story together perfectly. You had loopholes in your story. You were lying to yourself. Biggest sin of the throat chakra is lying to ourselves first. The biggest sin of the third eye, the 7 deadly sins. Right. The biggest sin of the third eye is imagination. Imagination. The only way to job creative software now. Ushilo banu prara enigma. Too creative. It has to creativity. Creativity in one direction is divine, it's godly. Creativity in the other direction is depression, anxiety, worries. Because what you are worrying about now, I can take it. You are creating it in your head. You are using your creative energy, you are using your projection to create the worst situation. By visa, no, on the other food is doing. When anything that can go wrong has gone wrong, my visa. Math is low. You created it in your own head because you are constantly creating. Let me ask you a question. If Mr. Reebok was never born, would we have clothes under the name Reebok today? Yes? No? But Reebok never existed. Would we have a clothing brand called Reebok? Okay, how so? How can we not know?
No, we don't know. Our sashi is low. We don't know what's in the internet.
Okay, but now we have Adidas today because Adidas was born and created the shoe, Adidas. We have the car Ford because Henry Ford put it together. We have Kawasaki because of Mr. Kawasaki, Toyota because of Mr. Toyota. Now, if Mr. Toyota was never born, we would have cars, yes, granted, but would we have Toyota?
Okay, let's listen to you around. I'm not speaking science. Your person this won't be in a balance of probability. What is the answer?
How? In the balance of probability. In the balance of probability, to answer that question, you would have the element of the probability in order to make that balance. Now it's not there. I'm saying he was never born.
Could have someone address who there? Could have from us.
I just want to say this. So my assumption is that it was always meant to be there, it will always be there. The energies have always been existing. It would have found itself, but it would have found itself in another form. Maybe it wouldn't be Reebok, would have been something else, but it still exists, it's still there because energy never changes under the sun.
The idea, the energy of it would still exist. Like I say, if Henry Ford never was born, would still have cars, but maybe not Ford.
You see, the balance of probability says to us that when he suggests hypothetically that it is a change, what will it be?
But it's based on a known fact. I'm removing now that known point of departure.
No, when you remove it, it's not fair.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm removing now the known fact. So we cannot discuss the probability of it because there's no starting point. Do you understand? So everything we see is an expression of our minds. This is where the point is going to. Everything, this building was first planned by somebody, why draw and then why construct. Had that person not out of the structure, it would have been different. Would have been here, but a different structure. So it's all about creativity. So the biggest sin of the third eye is creativity in the wrong direction. Right? The biggest sin of the crown chakra now is knowledge. And the lack thereof. Right? You can know too many things, but you know wrong things. If I don't know what chawe, yabona muhle kanjani isiXhosa, mara ayithi into yaziwa uthabathika. From morning till sunset, akuna nomuthi wokulapha iflu awaziyo. This is a true story. I was once invited to go to CHAKRAS. Don't you know, go to us. Just going home. Uthi bayamkhulu uzosipletisa Spanish imithi yami. Ayithi thathi bhofike lo Spanish imithi. There were about 30 containers there. Of 30 containers zamayeza, 27 of them imithi yobulala. Awukho lapha. Of 30 containers, 27 imithi yobulala. I counted that amag. I left it like that. I don't want to be part of this. So, knowledge is another deadly sin. So if you look at all the deadly sins, sin, lust, avarice, greed, discontent, gluttony, it all has to do with the 7 chakras. When the 7 chakras are blocked and are going the wrong direction, it's like a wheel. If it's spinning anti-clockwise, you're going to go the wrong direction. You're going to crave the wrong things. If you have a craving for chocolates and sweets and junk food, example, fast for one day, fast for the second day, and then listen to what your body craves. Listen to what your body craves. Your body craves fruit. Your body craves natural things. I food namanza this way. If you can just drink water, your body is happy. Just fast for 2 days, experiment. And next time you have a flu, remember this. Don't give yourself food. Fast for 1 day. You're depriving the virus of food. It's going to eat on the reserves. And then it's going to die out naturally. But now what's going to happen is once that is gone, you are going to crave the natural food. You can't crave anything else. Says one, Ubetuleni, the 7 chakras. Lord, continue adamative, positive, no negative. Unaskala imagine abantu besimalekile emakhona. Sebefikile bendidele adonde dijinta ukwasha.
One question. Does knowledge exist?
Okay, does knowledge exist? Ukhona omunye wake wabuza ngise isikanda ngasukuma wathi ngizoshiyeka nawe ebusiwe wethu. I was in East London, ngiye emshadweni. So uma ngihamba lapha estradeni ekhaya yabo angeke kubheke naphambi kwabantu semshadweni. Awuthi dume nestradeni. So nje babikhona la estradeni ngiyile lapha ngidayi abazubona. And she goes, bang. So someone comes to me and says, who were bad? It has him very busy. But you know, man, who man? Him who? They say, I've never been here before. But you know, man, I watch you all the little, and Nicole, some of you also channel and strategy. But because I'm standing in money, it won't happen. But if we had not met, what you now, it's going to shock the living ghost out of me. And you call out, Lord. I'm not used to that. I'm a very, very private person. I may talk a lot, but in my own space. You understand? So, now I'm scared. I listen to you. Oh, okay. I want to ask you something. Is knowledge real? And if it's real, what must I do after receiving knowledge? The reality of knowledge is relative to your reception of it. Right? Because you can receive knowledge. I can tell you how to cook imidi papa now. Don't forget you will pay pass, however. Right? So the knowledge you got from me was useless at that time. Right? But taking that knowledge and applying it, knowledge dies. It becomes wisdom. Because now you can teach it to the next person. Right? But once you start teaching it to the next person, wisdom becomes a waste of time. Experience becomes all that occurs. So to answer your question, knowledge is a start to experience, not the end of it. You can read a book, but if you don't practice what the book says, you wasted your time. That's all. So knowledge is relative to your reception. It is real if you receive it and apply it. It's not ready to receive the pudding editions. Right? No. Right.
Tamis obane waklabe de jamaatu si pawana ase. Pakon salayo we bo chai o karate kab do cha pasolat. Patit anatosa elaga tosa bakmasa. Ona de abande pudo na bo. Chani tsupi. O sala o bosu unade abenuntarabo. बहुत की से pada buat pick up it maya da yara fura wale boy nu mas sotas onele ba ben sede sai pa pikale golite e man chondo pi chorueni ati obajo no fuma school sports ati obajo senam ye thank you so much for your time out of routine and attack the tree for a little more that your patience is conceivable. Another teaching at all, Baba, Silosuma, Bon Shai, on the Karase Kabanake, or the Adboning Ote, in the core. Most of the time, our events are during intuitive defense. Sometimes we find that it's better to have a conversation where there's happy get to drop to the depiction. This is why. Get your pizza. Chige. Smilabatawatana. Mamash. Abakhaliphi. Nova. Mafwal. C'était irritata if you do not cool women is the young feet. So what's the voices of Black History Month and young people is that when Black History Month was started in the 19th. So soft. Vi principalmente till station au kamalera. Det var någon chat. So what I was saying is, the importance of the youth is where the Black History Month was starting it, especially a week where the residents of your Tulsas, your Chicagos, your Alphilas, the black children of the free states of America, wanted to remember those who great individuals were created. So, os ensaios de Senhora vai já não obedecer agora, não expor lá que seria Sarabai de City Babal de Miguel este crente, right? We need to, that's better. We need to have admirable figures to emulate. So they sat down to try and figure out who are these figures that are worthy of our veneration. And these individuals were first individuals who helped them in innovative advances or technological advances, agricultural advances, with giving birth to the technology. So they also admired the baby catchers as well. Then there was also those who were more freedom fighting, and then the ABC which they left behind. So when they came together first in Chicago, they came together for Black History Week, and they were hopefully able to get it even allowed for black people to come together in a group 10 years later, right? Where the first grassroots of the civil rights movement started, which was then after the outrages of your Tulsa communities getting cracked down, real Martin studies as well. There was a big time during the year the United Gibro right? We spoke about self-reliance, self-realization, self-determination as black people. Along with that, your true allies, who were then the veterans of your Nation of Islam, right? So black people who then were starting to form this black nationalism within which they are minority, right? And they are also deemed third-class citizens. Yes, they are first-class, they are typically, and the could is be because of how their major was there. And then we understand that they're in a place like stuff like here. If you have just 1% of that, you're black, right? So also there are the individuals who they came together to speak about the treatments of blackness. Most of them were also mixed race. And academic city also formed around the type H1B movement, which was classified the community for mixed race, upper class black people, to try to remind themselves of their Africanness, right? Also, they were the ones who could bring it, like the others couldn't. And then they are coming together. They also started the precursors of what became Kwanzaa, the communal conventions, and coming together to share in the works, in the produces that we make. So the whole market stalls, flea markets, that's when they came around there to share it with their community as well. In an effort them of having also a communal economy, right? So in our downness, in our moment of weakness, these gentlemen and ladies came together to remind each other of how great they were and how great they still can be. And these were young people. These were young men and women who were ecologists, studying things like economic administration, studying things like law, studying things like agriculture. You know, these were black people position themselves to begin to fit all forms of societal administration. And we have this land that BT is given to us, for we buy. How are we going to make that piece of land functioning? How are we going to survive the first day? Basic thing. Who's going to sort out the basic? All of you guys go to school for that. Who's going to sort out citations and okay, all of you go to school for that. Who's going to sort out our law and order? Okay, all of you go to school for that. And that's how they started to structure their communities. What is now Central Park. Central Park in New York was the first community of free slaves, which the language was given to free slaves and government. But most of you is that the globe of America is still crying for reparations, but they will see reparations in the country, the 70 conference. And I feel sorry for that. Because Prince Hall and Dev, they were given land between the Mande and the Togo, which is now from Liberia. And Liberia was formed by the American colonization society, where they said, okay, we want to go back to Africa, but go back to be Americans in Africa, right? Some of the people who were, I guess, descendants of those back to Africa movements are the ones who started the movement that we welcome you to be. Because your principal and his generation, your 5% black people, the higher educated black people in America. Most of their ancestors have dual citizenship. Laba Parasapida Part, which is Liberia and right? So when Black History Month then started to become an event that calls now black people and people of color from all over the corners of America, right? We then, and I'm saying we, why we? It's hard to talk about them here. We then started now to realize that we have grandmothers now who are doing this. Ineko started to build down nursing homes. So now that's where now the first homes, homeless shelters, the first homeless shelters there in the black communities, the American were first started for homeless elderly people, right? In those nursing homes, what was happening was we were also receiving information. They were receiving information about what happened when they were still have backgrounds. Right, so as you take right? And you guys are doing a world where a lot of information is missing. I know my grandma would be what a great grandpa to so, right? So I have access to information that you would be yearning for because of the youth and like this, where we are trying to get back to ourselves, all right? So then, when the black countries of America were then formed, they then started to have committees which transport people. The only place where these did not happen was in the South, and in the south of America, right? Over the years, when the British then came in, because there is a lot of black people who are former British citizens, right? Your Rastafarian communities came out of this. Your Gavinite communities came out of this. Your, like I was saying, Nation of Islam movements came out of this. You fight centers in Malays, right? All of those. And this is 100 years later, and it has become a worldwide event with off space of other events that remind us of the greatness of our land. Now we had to transition, which I think maybe the rest of the world still has to get there. If we are saying it's Black History Month, are we limiting Black history only to an epochs? Are we limiting Black history only to a certain time? Are we limiting Black history or the collection and favorable to talk about Black history only to the diaspora? Or does it also account for us too here? Is it also relevant for us to celebrate or to commemorate Black History Month when we never left the continent? And when the question was asked, it was our community has a lot of spirits coming in now. The community itself is much simpler to be here than in my African countries, right? And they asked, so why do you celebrate this? This is what our is the style. This is our thing, and this is our culture. Okay. What you think we did not lose, we probably lost more than you. And by probably lost more than you is you can come here from the diaspora and not get what you can get here. Well, that's the question we'll end. Right? So it's even worse for us because we are still here with our ancestors' goals. We still speak something like mine. Even if I speak English the way right? And if we are not able to at least simple say ignite a spark amongst ourselves who are still here, how do we think as a global community, as black people, we can ever be one? Still the same. Some about some are the lot, some are semitic, but not all the same. You can say we are saved by the content maybe of melanin. But crab-wise, right, we're not going to say. So we must be able to understand why and how it is relevant to speak of black history. There are black people speaking about black history like this is not be so relevant. Maybe they say about Jewish history. Maybe if we spoke about Pan-Arab history, it's no different problem.
And the book traditional capacity, they deserve preparations.
For apartheid, do you think people already died? Hey, man, have you seen how much money has been spent in this country? I think we got it already. Just people don't know. Yayithanda lena ngoba ukuthi lozo enamanje yayithanda ikhuluma ezimanje. I think we here in South Africa already got preparations for apartheid. I believe so. Because what you said again, spoke about right? You're from Free State or from Northwest, from the Soup Strait, right? But like border and he from the Soup Strait, color to color.
Yeah, but he's
Alright. So let's say Abakhaliphi Amakesati. Let's say the homestead of Abakhaliphi and the savagery is all there, right? But it's all commercial farms now, or it's a game farm now, or your family can go right and ship to get the land back, right? But then you give you two options. You take the land, develop it, or take a cash equivalent. That is how the term possible. Then when we swap our family land and get back from the government for money. It's casual. Yes, but that's a little bit away, right? So the reason why I say we must is can you one of us as Habulela or which put up out of a army cause a Ipola can get the black or get your money back. You're possible. Right now, as we speak, I'll tell you a story. The Kaya Umanga was Patrick, a travel one cover machine for yes, machine for no book is right. They have lands in Kruger National Park and Liable is that whole space there, Dodgely. Ogle's Rest, Suki, Fresco, Darcy. Thank you very much. And some of them opted for bank. Some opted for bank.
The lock is especially okay. It opted, but because now in English, the hash is notaries who get 8 grand by the duration of the I got a land.
Yes,
Now what's happening?
all the residents of Skuza get money from the park because Skuza itself is inside the borders.
Government pays risks to government projects on their things. Yeah, hungry. And it's one to kick and not can kick about it in time.
Right. So, Orji, that's a very nice question. And my opinion might not be the best opinion out there, but I believe good about money. Just that I give it in a song.
so we as a youth alchemy kapisa onakana kafisa kabe.
I mean, this work hard now. That's all quarter.
So ukitile waneka and then
Forget about the parking money is daily money anyways. It's dirty money at the goals. It's not how to do it.
okay. So like get about the land what's the way of
Even you know, but No, we're forgetting about the money, right? The land, the compensation for
The repossession of land without object at this book. Exportability without compensation is based on an idea keep back or fighting in this back. In this world, even before colonizers came here, nobody took land. You bought land from kings. There was thereby appointed history when that was free. You understand?
Ini now calling for
But there was never a point in time where land was free for all. It's a political lie that is making us fight a battle that will never win. If you want land, Shanana Navanga Makawai Ted, Shananisimaya, he said spending it on your restaurants, NSC, Shananisadavatofe, Zaibet in Kimbangi amongst the table. Do you know what that is called in Genesis? It's called poverty. A self-sustaining, self-working system within itself, where a group of white people got together and said, let us be independent and self-sufficient.
with
That is us the anti-famous. I need to purchase while you're speaking, it's on little block by hello girl. Like this that is used. So in terms of hikistic and something to do just happy in that time. Wasn't there always a nice person like a easily first in terms of dollars. 20 right. It is a certain monolith yet. Well, this is so it is a worker. Sounds to hasn't dared to reach it. Most space is relevant, celebrate, marriage, just is.
I mean, effective.
yes, they are. So placing up right now upon the common Buddhist history involved not be divided to one specific time in history. Right?
That's politics.
Yes. Okay. I want to keep a set. You see that. Who had where the pen of your choice? Put the pen also there. Yes, a cut it over for this again. Until you go, but any year see it. You just do it. It will be case so. Okay, so Yufi culture is African culture, right? We never needed this before we lost us. Because none of it to such call, or also start trying booth, or someone's on a come to come and give Thanksgiving in the family, and we're all like this. We definitely have to speak about our ancestors. What are we doing? Must get started, we're not letting anything around the family. Our aunties are here, our uncles are here, our grandfathers are here. They have stories about people that we don't know. You understand? So moments like this, they started as a need cause of an already existing attachment. Right? The whole Egypt thing in the back is, but they started to add it in the 1980s, 1980s, 1990s, when your ground in the fair was able to end the term. Then they started to go in the Kwanzas, all of that. That's when they started some shit is better. In the Islam itself, they don't need to be minded because they do the typical, you know. Unless they fear so on.
Yeah, I say just as you know, the main idea by ship party. Yeah, usually you that's yes. Is it is just
Yeah, also just remember, must always remember also, when it's nice to come together like this, it was more so also gonna be